Most people think the lowest tile insignificant, but it is essential for the unusual strategy that I employ.
Hey TwotheFuture. Time for a first of its kind video on this channel, the Normie unboxing video. Yes, I'm going to do one at last. I bought a handcrafted Pai Sho set from Etsy that I have wanted for so long, and I have waited for 2 months. 2 months for the right time.
I did my waiting!
To make a video where I unwrap. I didn't even realize that that was written there. It's been sitting on my couch for like ages. I love you too, Laura. So I have not seen what is inside, but I am super excited. But I won't unwrap it standing up, so we're gonna go to a new place that I don't normally do videos. Okay, so, wow, doesn't, oh, hello, Mishka. No, I'm trying to film. Wow, doesn't this just feel really barren without all of my nerdy memorabilia around the place? And which is okay, you need to, I'm gonna have to put you somewhere else. Also, I want to be clear, this isn't a sponsor, but I also want to be transparent. While I did pay something for what I'm getting in this, the seller was kind enough to send me some stuff for free, knowing that I was going to make this video. But me telling you to check out Pai Sho, the guy who made this stuff over on Etsy, is purely because I have always loved what he made and wanted some for myself, and being Avatar fans, you might too. Because there is so little Avatar merchandise out there, but everything I've seen of this is that it's really cool. I mean, I have some other stuff, like I'm wearing my Earth Kingdom pendant, once again, made on Etsy. But I don't feel like this is an advertisement or a sponsorship because I would have made a video like this anyway. So there is a link down to their store in the description below. I'm like weirdly nervous opening this because I've never done an unboxing video before and trying to come up with stuff on the fly. Like I've got some notes, but that's it. Anyways, gonna tear it open like a child at Christmas. Thanks for being excited about Pai Sho. Enjoy, looking forward to seeing you share this with everyone. Stay nerdy, Zach. Ha! You used my catchphrase. That made me weirdly happy. Okay, what do we got here? So, I had a long conversation of like working out what types of woods the tiles would be made of and which types of tiles I would get, because there are canon tiles in the actual show that he's put together, but he's also made other sets of tiles, and I got a lot of them. And then of course I have the game board itself. So which do I want to look at first? I think I want to see the tiles, because everyone has a rough idea of what the boards typically look like. I just ripped the bag. That's not a good start. So I was just sorting those out. I got 3 different types of tiles from Pai Sho. These are the canon tiles. So the tiles that you're seeing on the camera now, these are the ones that actually appeared in the show itself. Now, these don't exactly have any context for the rules, as in they can't really be played with, but a lot of people just like to have the tiles that actually appeared in the show. That's why I got them, because I just like to know that I have the canon tiles. That's something that's just, I find precious and cool. I don't necessarily need to be able to play with them. I have a lot of stuff in my room which is just there to be looked at and know that I have it. Now these are the Vagabond tiles, which I also got just because I could. These are clearly the original benders for each of the elements, though if you've been following my channel for a little bit, you'll know that, well, by a long time I mean like a few weeks ago, we'll know that I actually believe the sun is the original firebender. Now these tiles don't appear in the show. The Sky Bison there, and we have the Badger Moles there, which I really, really like. Dragons. The detail on them is really nicely done. They're really well defined. You know, I'm really impressed actually. I'm so happy with what I've got here. So these are sort of the main attraction, what I really wanted to get, and these are made out of a beautiful purple heart wood, which is actually one of his newer types of wood. You can see on the site on Etsy that he makes it out of a whole bunch of different woods that you can choose. You can choose what type of wood you want. I went with cherry and walnut for these ones, but he offered to do purple heart, which is just amazing, and I know that these aren't the colors that you see in the show, but look at how beautiful these are. And these are the 2 different types of tiles that you play in the game. You've got the inverted and the standard. So for example, you have the one player as the lighter one and one player as the darker one, but they're the same tiles, sort of like chess. Most of these ones have actually been seen throughout the show, most of these tiles, but there weren't any ever uniform rules made clear in the show about how the game worked. So he actually started a site called Pai Sho, which many Avatar fans have probably come across at various points, and these are the tiles that you use for that. And he pretty much took everything we know from the show and tried to make a real strategy game out of it, or a strategy game slash game of chance slash gambling game, as it's been described variously.
This game is all about slow, methodical strategy.
No, it's not. This is a fast-paced, edge-of-your-seat game of chance. Don't think, just go.
He sets out the rules pretty nicely. It takes a little bit of time to get to use, but it's a lot of fun, and I will leave a link to that so you can go play it down in the description below as well. And I love the purple heart. He offered to make these especially, which was really, really nice of him. Fun fact about me, purple is my favorite color, especially deep, rich purples. And you know, just seeing a deep, rich purple on a wood is really, really nice. They're not just like smooth printed onto it, they're actually carved into it, which is really cool. Maybe you can see that's actually indented. The actual design is put into it. He also sent me a single larger White Lotus tile. Fun fact about the White Lotus tile though, the design of the White Lotus tile actually changed throughout the show. The first time that we see it, or one of the first times we see it, is in the episode The Waterbending Scroll. And Iroh has lost his White Lotus tile. And then at the end he goes, I found my White Lotus tile, Zuko. I think that's the worst impression of Iroh I have ever heard. And he goes, it was up my sleeve all along.
Prince Zuko, you're really going to get a kick out of this. The lotus tile was in my sleeve the whole time!
But it didn't actually look like this. Should be an image up on the screen of it, what it looks like there. And then later on, the design changed. It looks a little bit different. When they gave it really a canon image, the image that we see with the White Lotus and the Red Lotus. And one reason for that might be that they didn't know where the White Lotus storyline was going just yet, that it hadn't quite taken shape in their minds, because you know, they only had one season at the start. It got approved for a season, and then it got approved for the second and third season, and the White Lotus really didn't take root as an idea. I mean, it took root in the second season. That's the first time we get what could be read as there is a secret society of old men.
Welcome, brother.
So that is the White Green Lotus tile. But let's have a look at the board. Oh wow, it's like a puzzle. Freaking out. This. Wow, this is incredible. Man, these feel really nice. Like these are really actually quite a high quality wood from the feel of it. Like it's really nicely made. And the colours. Like it doesn't feel, you know, grating or cheap or plywood or whatever. It feels really nice and smooth. So I've actually been lying to you a little bit throughout this video, which is that there's no canon version of the game. There technically is sort of half true. So Nickelodeon, and this is Nickelodeon, the company, not Mike and Brian, the writers for Avatar: The Last Airbender, they came out with a small little online game of Pai Sho. Problem is, it was bad. It was really bad. The rules just didn't follow anything like what they were in the show. The tiles were weird. The whole board was off. It didn't follow the same layout even. It was just really bad. What is canon? That's really the question we're asking. And I'm personally of the opinion that it's not canon. Now, that might be me being biased because it's a little bit terrible, and by a little bit terrible, I mean entirely terrible. But Mike and Brian have spoken in the past about how they don't consider the card game canon. Some people might know that there was an Avatar: The Last Airbender card game, which had characters like Malu and Afiko the Betrayer, and they don't consider that as canon for the series because they didn't have any hand in creating it. And I actually really agree with that. These guys are the masterminds behind the universe, and I have a lot in stock when it comes to authorial intent, I guess. I disagree with John Green there. They probably are the final arbiters on that, and given that they don't believe that the card game, which they had no part in, as canon, I don't think it'd be fair to say that that online version of Pai Sho was canon. So as you can see, Pai Sho has always had kind of a theme of being inverted and standard, so we've got the light, dark, and I really like that. Did any of you play that little known Pai Sho game online? This all slots in really nicely. Like, that is really tight and snug, just like I like my board games to be. I will make a whole video on Pai Sho and its rules and what we know about it eventually. That will not be today. This was just me doing an unboxing. Oh, I'm just so glad I got this. It's so beautiful. Thank you very much for sending, you know, this stuff for me. Pretty much, I paid for the tokens. He sent me the board as a thank you. But this was my first unboxing video once we got past the whole Mishka interrupting everything. If you wanted to get, you know, just these tiles, or just the Vagabond tiles, you know, with the original benders, or just the Canon tiles, you know, I really recommend those. I think that's a really cool thing to have in an Avatar collection. There's a link to his store down in the comments below. So you'd be able to get some of that, or if you wanted to get the board, you can get that as well. Or you can get all of it, I don't know, up to you. Question of the day, have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? If you have, let me know down in the comments below. In the meantime, I'd love you to come follow me over on my Twitter and my Facebook, and, you know, support me on Patreon if you like what I do and want to see more of it. That is always a massive help, and thank you to all of you who already do. It means the absolute world. In the meantime, stay nerdy, Sub-Furies, and I'll see you in the future.